NGTV, l'objectivité avec nous.
Thanks for joining us once more this afternoon for yet another edition of In the Heart of the City. We are very happy to have you on set this afternoon, and we hope that you too out there are equally happy to be with us. We share everything that you share. We know that we've had a lot of things on our mind all through the week, be the weekend or the start of this week, but whatever the case, I always tell you to forget about it and think about things positively. You know, there are some people who are just out there just to make life very difficult for you. Just give them a smile to show them that you're stronger than that. When you give them a smile, it means that you've gone beyond that. Talking about sports this evening at exactly 5 p.m. Thank you very much, Ivana. 5 p.m. Our Lions will be playing against Benin. But the good news in this is that the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon are already qualified without playing. That's the good news about it. But they have to win that match today to convince some of us that are lovers of football that they are good in what they do. Having said that, our program In the Heart of the City, the slots are the same. We have the business corner, of course. We have the kitchen with the countryside cuisine of Miss B. And we, of course, have our health page. That's what constitutes the program. And I'm sure any minute from now, we will, of course, have the questions displayed on your screen for you to give us your point of view. Why do most women hate children of their husband getting out of wedlock? We notice that most men who come with their children that they had out of wedlock, their wives generally do not love them. Why do they not love them? I'm happy about the question of today is because I have ladies on set. If I had a man, he would tell you that I'm a man, I cannot answer the question of a woman, but I'm happy I have a women with me and they will answer the question very promptly. And you televiewers as well, you will of course send us your point of view on the question that will be put on your screen any minute from now. While waiting for that, we now take you on set to have the ladies that I have with me. I have Miss B, good afternoon, and I have Ibane Tumbe, good afternoon as well.
Yeah, good afternoon. You can see how we're feeling cute this afternoon on set. Okay, everyone. Of course, we're feeling cute.
Yeah, you're feeling cute.
Where's your body?
Okay, we all of us.
Okay, is going to be like, oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Over the glass there, we're feeling cute. Good afternoon. NGTV is on board in the heart of the city. 3 girls squad, beautiful girls squad. Yeah, that's the club here. In the heart of the city, we're nice to know that somebody is connected and expecting to hear from us this afternoon.
Miss B, you've changed something on your face today. Let me allow the
Yeah. Maybe I turn again and say we're feeling cute this afternoon. We're feeling cute.
No, it's just now I'm noticing. I haven't seen you since morning, so it's obvious that.
Now you understand why I talk about the 3 girls squad, fine girls club. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's sleeping dogs.
Yeah, let the sleeping dogs lie. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you too, Binda. Good afternoon to Miss B.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to all our televiewers. Special good afternoon to all the candidates who took the Bay APC examination, whether I passed or not. A good afternoon to you. And for you who is successful, of course, a big congratulations to you. And I hope that this is yet an opportunity for you to prepare better. That's to say, start preparing for your probatoire examination next academic year. And for those who did not make it, just take it as a challenge. And of course, it is time for you to identify where you made some mistakes, correct them, so that next year you're going to take it on with very beautiful, flying colors. And on that note, I still want to say good afternoon to all the lactating moms this beautiful afternoon. I took upon myself to be an advocate for breastfeeding this beautiful afternoon, Binda. Exactly. You know, there is something that is trending in our society. It's our Android age today. Women no longer want to breastfeed their kids.
Of course.
Everybody wants to have a standing breast because they think that when you start breastfeeding the baby for 6 months and on, you are already your breast will become sagging, and they're going to lose shape. They will no longer be the slay queen type and all of that. And everybody is like, I don't want to have stretch marks. I don't want to have fallen breast.
If you don't want to have stretch marks, it's better not to have the child.
And you know, it is it is something that we really need our ladies or our women nowadays really need to understand that breastfeeding your baby is very important for that baby's health. When you go to the hospital, pediatricians or medical doctors are going to tell you that when you have your baby, the very first breast milk is very important. And as you breastfeed your baby on, it's going to prevent the baby from having some illnesses. It acts as a sort of protection to the baby's health. So if you decide to start, there are some ladies who will just, without any, it's true that in some cases medically they are going to tell you not to breastfeed your baby. That is a different case. But when you have the opportunity to breastfeed that baby, why not do it? You say that you want to keep your breast strong, you don't want it falling, you want to keep I tell you what, you want to keep the slay queen body and all of that. Please, it's a thumb down for you this afternoon. Ensure that you breastfeed your baby for at least 6 months. That is what is always required when you go to the hospital. Not for 2 months, please. They said 6 months at least. That's not a maximum.
Pharmacy to buy some drugs, and a lady came there asking for medicine for drugs for her child who had a lot of heat cell. We noticed that most children who start eating extremely early will suffer from heat cell infection.
Exactly.
Heat cell infection, and then when you notice, you go to the hospital, you're forced to take drugs. Imagine a child 2 or 3 months has a lot of drugs to take. It becomes complicated. So I believe that even if you are a mother that is working, you have to mix the milk and the breast milk and give the child.
And the good thing is that in most enterprises, if not in all, there is always some level of priority given to lactating moms. I remember I had a colleague one time when we used to have break for 1 hour, but she has break for 2 hours. That's just to say that she has time to go, and she's permitted to come at a certain time in the morning, so that she has to stay home for some time, breastfeed the baby, ensure that the baby is fine. She comes over to work, and she's given extra 2 hours in the afternoon to go back home and ensure that the baby is well cared for. So it shouldn't be an excuse that you don't breastfeed your baby because you are a working lady. It's true that some enterprises actually make things complicated, but the baby's health comes first and should be our priority, our topmost priority. But I'm not just talking against the women this afternoon. You know that some men actually are those who push these women to do these things. A man is going to tell you that when your wife or your woman is already having fallen breast, when he's already having some kind of fallen breast, like I said there, they start looking for those ladies outside who have the the very exactly and at this point the women sometimes are forced to do this so that you can keep your husband home. So you are the man who is forcing your lady or your wife not to breastfeed the baby. So men do that. A man is going to tell you that I have the money a man is going to tell you that I have the money to provide the milk. I provide the milk for you. I don't want you to lose your weight, your shape, and all of that.
Some even have a very big tummies after, some at one point in time you can control that. Most people who are from families that are they cannot always control the weight, say that they want to wash weight and reduce, you see big tummy, and then the husband say, no, you've changed. Do we really blame
I
them?
don't blame the man.
In that case, it's very, very different. You know, it is but normal that. Permit me to add
Okay,
this, right?
no, before I
It is
ask
but normal that even when a woman gives birth, you must take care of your body. It is not, and if you have baby, having babies doesn't mean that you have to neglect your body. There are ways that you can actually make that stomach to go back. I'm specifically talking about fallen breast. Normally, when a woman has a baby and after breastfeeding for some time, it is but normal that this breast exactly they won't look like a 15-year-old who doesn't have a baby. So that's the point. I'm not saying that women should not take care of themselves. Even if you don't take care of yourself, your man, believe me, I won't blame a man. I'm not saying that I'm justifying infidelity, but you might just be the cause of that situation. But if you take care of yourself, ensure that that means that ways that a woman can actually make sure that the belly goes back to normal after having a
Are you
baby.
advising somebody to do the massage with warm water?
No, I'm not asking anyone to do massage with warm water. You simply hold tying the stomach with something is enough to ensure that the belly goes back inside. And even when you breastfeed a baby, when you breastfeed your child, right, it was possible and very, very possible that stomach is going to go back to its normal
Yeah,
shape.
some people's stomach goes back to normal. Miss B, I heard you saying you don't blame the men. Who do you blame, the women?
I don't blame the women. I don't blame the men.
Then who do you blame?
I come back to the aspect of love. When there is love sees
Oh,
no
Miss
error.
B believes in love.
Yeah. Whether she grows fat, breast falling, first of all, one thing there to add to that. Breastfeed or no breastfeed, so long as there is life, there is age, the breasts are bound to fall, whether we like it or not. And don't deprive that child of his or her right. The child has the right to breastfeed.
That is it.
That's the first nutritive food that builds the body of the child to grow well and so on. Not me. Now you understand why some children are too intelligent or things like that. Is it that God refused? No, God not refused.
Oh my God.
God gave it equal to someone. You start giving a child cow milk from 0 month, you understand, 1 month. How would that child reason like a cow? Then if
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I'm sorry to say, baby, sorry. If now you understand why a child, some of them really walk like sheep. You understand?
My
They
God!
started
She's
embracing-
gonna make for slaughter.
they started embracing cow milk, you understand? But when the child starts sensing, or they are what we call, immune systems, mechanics and so on, whatsoever that plays. As far I may not be a medical doctor to talk on that, but again, we have sentiments and mechanisms that make these things work and so on. Once it is human milk, the child, that's the first thing the child embraces. That's intelligent. That's humanity. That's what makes the child different from, our first cousins in the bush.
And
you
it even
understand?
strengthens the
You know,
bond
our
between the
first-
mother and the child.
Our first cousins, even the father, our first cousins, the Korean, you understand? That's what makes the child different, thinking different from them makes us different. And you refuse the child. The child is embracing the way you refuse breast milk, you give the child cow milk. What's that? You understand? Besides even, I will come back to the aspect. Second point to raise, I believe in love. Whether she ties it, she doesn't tie the stomach, hold the stomach whatsoever, what with the breast and so on. Nature remains nature for women. Everybody has a unique body system. There's some who do the tying, yet the stomach will still be like this. You understand? But again, if there is love, your husband will still embrace you. And so the aspect of you telling me some men are the ones who push women not to breastfeed because when the breast is falling, they start looking. That man is just a buffoon. The definition of a man. You understand? Yeah. Because that's sheer buffoonery. Let me speak this afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
No, it
She's
is
provoked.
It is social human bomb communist.
Oh
To
my
understand
gosh.
to understand that you impregnated this lady. Maybe she was even a virgin before you knew her. And then it has happened that, was that human mechanism and psychological
nature takes
mechanism. Nature has taken place. She's become a mother. She's changed, in everything system and so on. And you start looking for another, you understand.
Another painting.
Is that painting that will be the one that will change also? And after that one changes also,
You look for another pen.
thank you so much. Now you understand why I started by describing them. These are buffoons.
Oh my God!
putting on dresses to represent human beings, whereas they are not human beings to
They are
face
apes.
realities and nature. So how many will you run behind looking for pem pem? You understand? No, let's say pem pem. This first pem pem is giving birth, everything is gone. Second pem pem is giving
But
everything is
generally,
gone.
they will not look for those pen that have children after. They want just the one that will remain just that way.
How do you define them? There is no woman who, even if you are as this small or what, something must change. And so
Definitely.
that man is already sick from the womb and has a problem, a psychological problem that needs the attention of psychiatrists. You understand?
Thank you very
And
much.
no, let's just be
You've done
real
well,
here.
oh.
Nature-
That's somebody
nature
already had a
cannot be
problem from
cheated.
the womb.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Nature
much,
cannot
Miss
be
B. You have
cheated.
said
And
it.
so maybe it's a fundamental problem. The man may
Oh
be
my
suffering
God.
from, and he needs, the parents maybe did not dedicate him before God. Did not dedicate him before the shrine when he was born. You understand?
Believe me, if there's a man out there who actually thinks that his wife is not supposed to breastfeed a baby with what you just said now, Miss B, that man has changed his mind.
No.
In fact, he thinks he's an ape.
Not even that. These are realities. Nature cannot be cheated. And let's accept nature. You pick somebody's daughter who destroyed. You understand? And what makes you feel that the men too don't go bonkers? You understand? When they get indulged in things like this, you don't remain the same. What prompted the stomach that is like this? You understand? He's sitting. The stomach is how many centimeters away
And the
from
buttocks
him?
becomes
And
very
then
small.
Very
the
small.
butt now is all gone, like cocoa soap that has been used and used and used.
Miss B, it's okay, please. Miss
Of
B,
course.
it's okay.
Miss
You
B
know,
is provoked.
the only thing I want to say is that even though you have the opportunity of having a baby and you don't want to breastfeed that baby, there are some women who are ready to have their fallen breast up to their knees, having stretch marks all over their body.
That's the
just
joy
to
of
be able
motherhood.
to
The fact
have-
that the
to-
breasts are all
just to be able to have just one child, just one. There's so many people who are searching, who are struggling to have children, and some people have the opportunity of having, and they do not even value the kids. That's why Miss B is very angry this afternoon.
You know, I actually brought up this topic, but Miss B got so provoked that I
Of
thought I
course,
was provoked.
that's the joy
but
of
I'm not actually
motherhood.
provoked.
That's the joy of fatherhood, to know that I picked this lady, destroyed her. These are the results.
It's not destruction.
Children. No, let's call it that way even. These are the results.
traditional way, that's what we call it.
Children. Whereas there are some people looking for children. And remember, when you are old, you will need those children to be your working stick.
Definitely.
And so you say this woman is damn ugly, I go look for another. You are a perfect definition of
A buffoon.
not even.
An
Let's
ape.
just leave it like that.
Okay.
I'm just helping you.
If you are just joining us this afternoon, you see the ladies were very angry about these ladies who refuse categorically to breastfeed their children, claiming their breasts will fall, they'll develop strength, or whatever situation you find yourself in. So far as you have a child, please take out time to breastfeed that child at least for 6 months. It wouldn't kill you 6 months. Then after, you can take off that child from breastfeeding and give him some other meals. That it's not restricted in the hospital, because so you don't want your balls to fall. You give your child milk, before you know it, that child is sick. Please, let's avoid situations like that. If you're just joining us, you're in the heart of the city. For all those who are watching us in Fumban and in Fumbot, in Baham and Banjul, we want to say good afternoon to you, and that we are happy having you on set. Our question is really placed there. Why do most women hate children of their husband, from their husband gotten out of wedlock? Why do they hate those children? You can just send it to the numbers we have there, 676-1765-03. And of course, we will read your messages in the course of the program. But straight away, we go to our business corner and we will discover what we're selling today with Miss Ebane. Ebane, please let's go make money, so that those who choose to feed their children with milk, they should do that. They should be able to make money to feed their children with the milk.
You know, if you want to feed your baby with milk, wait till after 6 months. The first 6 months should be consecutively, exclusively mother's breast. Whatever case, we still need money to ensure that these women feed well, because if you do not feed well,
they aim for Fikon and Kui.
if you don't feed well, you won't be able to do this for that 6 months. You're going to look like very cranky. So let's go to the market, Binda, and go and sell something good, which is of course folere. It is a vegetable, a sort of a drink, cocktail, and You can have it as fulere itself is you can make juice out of it. You can make fulere soup with rice. For those from the far north, I'm sure they will agree with me that it's a very delicious meal. I love it. I love it.
You too love it.
I love it.
Okay.
Fulere soup. This is not fulere. This is egusi. We are talking about fulere today. So if you decide to sell fulere, if you can decide to just sell the juice, which of course you cook. After cooking it, Miss Cuisine someday, I'm sure she's going to teach us exactly how to make fulere juice.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you said fulere soup.
No, she can do both. No, the juice and the soup.
Okay.
Whichever, she's good at that. So if you decide to make the juice and sell, of course, it's very, very common nowadays to find that. If you have a refrigerator at home, it is very, very good, especially during the dry season. This is fulere. First of all, this is what it looks like when it's dry. When it's dried, of course, and the only thing you can obtain out of this when it's dry is the juice that you make out of the dried fulere. You can decide to sell it as such, or you sell the juice like you find it there on the screen. That is fulere juice. After doing that, of course, you can just put in bottles and you sell to your customers. But this is best during the dry season because it's always good that you put it in the fridge. It's always good to cool your taste and all that.
You leave it to chill.
Of course, you leave it to chill for some time. Like Miss B always say, chill it a bit, and then you give to your customers to sell it, to buy, of course. This is what fulere is. You can decide to still sell it as such. That you harvest the fresh leaves and then you dry it yourself and sell back to those who probably do the fulere juice. Okay, it's very, very good. And even in most homes, some people nowadays prefer to do it themselves at home rather than buying it. So selling it this way, it's still very, very profitable. You can make lots of money out of it. And I advise that if you want to get into this business, it's good that you know how to do the juice and you have this dried as well as the fresh leaves, such that you have a variety. You do the fulere, like Miss B will say, they call you Mama Egusi, they can call you Mami Fulere. You do the fresh leaves, you do the dry leaves, you do the juice, and you're sure that you're going to make plenty of money. And of course, if you choose to go with just the fresh, it's yet another one. But that one, I wouldn't say that you're not going to have a very large scope. You're not going to make you cannot have a very large market for that, because not everybody knows about this, and not everybody appreciates the soup, the fresh fulere leaves that is made with exactly for soup. Not everybody appreciates that. So the best you can do is have all three in stock. You have the fresh, you have the dry leaves. Of course, when you discover that the fresh leaves, if you don't have the customers, you turn to dry, you start drying them, and then you obtain your dry from there. You can still make your juice in whichever way you do, in such a way that you don't incur any losses. Because if you have the fresh leaves, if they are getting dry, you just simply transform them to dry leaves. You either sell them or you transform them into juice, and then you have your fulere juice to sell. Whichever way, you just have to go with it. Sometimes you don't need to have, somebody's going to tell me that somebody to do the fulere, you must have a fridge, a refrigerator. It is not a must. You can always go buy your ice blocks, you put in a flask, and then you drop your bottles inside, of course, and then you are sure to sell to your customers chilled and fresh. That is it for our business of today.
So how much do we need to engage in this business?
To engage in this business, you just need about 10,000 francs to begin with.
So how much do we sell the pan we have on the screen?
For the pan we have right there on the screen is going to be 100 francs only.
100 francs. It means it is extremely cheap. And
it is very, very cheap.
And it's affordable for anybody who
So you can imagine you having 10,000 francs to buy this stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to buy a very huge quantity.
A huge quantity. And when it's dry, it's rather preferable because you can keep for a very long period.
Definitely.
Of time. So Miss B, today we are doing fulere, and Ibani has to make mention of the fact that you do for us maybe fulere soup
or fulere juice.
Or fulere juice.
Oh, go with the juice, because the soup, it takes courage. It takes courage to actually produce the soup and sell it down. I prefer the juice, but again, it's a good one. It's a good business there. Why do I say so? You buy that one for 100 francs. You sink it in water. You understand? And by the time you get everything they need to mix, actually what they gain is something else. I wanna believe that somebody doing foolery can. It's possible you do 150 gain,
Exactly.
gain.
Yeah.
Because,
150.
yeah, just that small quantity. I think 10,000 francs is even too much to start the business. Just small. Yeah, even 4 or 5. You just buy all that is needed. But again, you wanna sell foolery, you will need to sell the foolery as in foolery in all its forms. Just like it has been elaborated there on the images, the juice, the foolery itself, both fresh and dry, and so on and so on. It's a good one. It's a good one. Somebody gets involved into it, you're sure to make money, and lots of people do like it. But I have a problem. Don't do your foolery and people drink it, they're tying their faces. Most people do it, they don't know how to do
They
it.
don't
well.
know how to do
And
it.
when people drink it, see the reaction. But if you know how to do this stuff, in fact, one of these days we go and do foolery for the kitchen. It's going to be just a snack, foolery, and maybe some cookies. That will be all. So that some people really know
Maybe
how
a
to.
fish pie.
Yeah. Some people should know how to do this. You know, I trust a particular genre of people on the tribe. I don't want to call it. You suspect yours, fine. But they just drop, boil the stuff, drop, a slice of lemongrass into it, and they remove it. And since sugar is expensive, anyway, but you taste it, it's no representation of, a beautiful
Lemon rice.
lemon.
But some people do have pineapple.
If you spend well to produce this stuff and you sell it expensive,
Put
people will
pineapples
still
there,
buy
add rum.
everything. People, you can still put apples there. Any fruit, but it depends on the fruit. When we say any fruit, there are some.
Don't put coconut, please.
Thank you so much.
Also.
Hot sour salt.
Sour salt, it depends. It depends. You see now, yeah, you can
Yeah,
mix
some
it.
salt can give it a different
Then
flavor.
when we start thinking of coconut, carrots.
Or banana.
Anyway, yeah, that's it. It's a good one. That's just to say that somebody can get into it and make lots and lots of money.
So if you do not have enough money to engage yourself in a business, why not start with the foolery? You can go buy in very large quantity. In our neighboring country, we call it bissap. Bissap. That is in Cote d'Ivoire. That's how we call it, bissap. But in the Cameroon, we call it foolery. Wherever. In fact, all over Cameroon, we know it as foolery. And when you talk about foolery, the first thing that comes to somebody's mind is obviously the juice. So if you want to try and get some business, get away from idleness in the house, just engage yourself in the foolery business. Just buy a large quantity and cook. And cook it well. Miss B said you should do it very well, please. Do not do pash me. You don't want, because there's some people who you taste the foolery, you begin to regret the money you spend on it. You say, oh my God, my 100 francs. But please, we don't want you to engage into that type of business. Do a good business so that people will appreciate. People will come over and over.
Don't
to
do
buy.
business for the sake of making money. Do it with passion and you see the result. Passion
Exactly, Miss B. If you love what you're doing, obviously you will make a lot of money. But if you do it because you want money, I'm not sure that that business will stay for a long time. Thank you, Ivane, for that business of today. Dear viewers, we're talking on the Bissap foolery, and we're teaching somebody how to make a lot of money. Straight away, we want to move to the next slot of the day, which is, of course, the kitchen with Miss Cuisine. She's good at countryside kitchen. Not that she's not good in the Android kitchen, but she's best at that. Let me say it that way. She's best at countryside kitchen. But we still on our question: why do most women hate children of their husband gotten out of wedlock? Why do they not like children of their husband gotten out of wedlock, be it in marriage or before they got married? Why is it that they have a problem? Because generally somebody will tell you that it's easy for a man to accept his wife's child, but it's difficult for a man in return to do that. But why is that always the case? Why do most women do not? Why waiting that you send us your text message? We go straight away to our kitchen of the day, Miss B. Miss Countryside Kitchen. What do we cook today?
Yeah, countryside cuisine, Lots of people are beginning to forget our culture, our values. Everybody wants to do the spaghetti, the spaghetti, and
They rush me up.
they rush me up, yeah, and or they have the cutter rice, common meals. Why? Because everybody is skipping meals and so on, and you eat rice until rice starts calling your name. You understand? But again, those traditional meals that when they want it, they start calling grandma. I say grandma does not need to rest in the village. Grandma will need your own fingers are paining. Sorry, a goosey pudding and plantain this afternoon. You want to do a goosey pudding and not when we talk of a goosey pudding as in a goosey pudding, not those things that you do it and somebody eats 2 minutes after you start looking for the restroom. You understand? A goosey pudding. This is the season. Yeah, that's it. We getting closer to where you have lots of this in the market. Yeah, it's already out. It's coming out. And visit the west, visit the center, visit more of the southwest
region as well.
Yeah, you have the stuff. That's a goosey there. Yeah, that's it there. We need this. We need it. So when you get it from the market, if you see that it's not clean, wash it and dry it. But if it's clean, bad out with all the dots, it's always open. I think we like to wash it, we dry it again, and then when it's dry, you need to put it in the fry pan like you saw there. Warm it up a little. You do the milling or the grinding, and before you know, you have this paste. You get the ground egusi, mix it up like that with a little bit of warm water and salt. Understand? And then when you mix your warm water and salt, some people like to put egbedi. These are the spices. We want to go with traditional spices, or what you see there. If you can identify, take away Jangsang, please. Jangsang is off. But a little bit of country onion, always deal with country onion with the countryside, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of bush pepper, and there's something there, somehow, some other time, you need a little bit of it at time there. You produce powder from all those things we've mentioned, a cube of Maggi, a few of them, a pinch of salt by the side. Somebody would decide, yeah, we need all this stuff. And then, today we're doing it with meat and fish. Dried fish or smoked fish and meat. Boil the meat, extract the water. That's the warm water too you can use to mix the egusi with it. Crack a few, a number of eggs if you need them. Yeah, crack the amount or the number you will need. Mix it up, pour it into that paste. Everything mix, to taste. You understand? But we will emphasize on those traditional spices you just saw. They make the egusi pudding different from every other egusi pudding that you understand? And when we mix everything, we'll need to go cut our leaves. That's it there. We come wash them. When we wash them, the next thing we need, place it in a good tray, you understand? And place it there. Carry a small quantity of the egusi pudding. Place on the leaf. You do the time. Put it in a pot, you understand? That's it there. Good. We tie it up, we put it in the pot, you understand? Arrange it well like what you see there, just a pinch of water, just be dropping a pinch of water while it's cooking. And when it's produced this color and even the smell, you're in the sitting room, the pot is in the kitchen, the smell is getting into the sitting room, you are sure it's ready. That's it there, goosey pudding, good. That's it there. Even, this is so beautiful. You can actually see the leaves, the design on it. And you can slice in whatever shape you want. That's it. Plantain by the side. That's right. Plantain, green plantain, whatsoever. Bobolo, miondo, whatsoever. Bread, yam, cocoa yam. You can, eat it. That's a goosey pudding. You can see enough obstacles in it. Fish, meat, all mixed together. That's it. As simple as it is.
It looks extremely attractive. You say, eat me. It's really beautiful. Thank you very much, Miss B, for that kitchen of today. The cuisine of today, we had egusi pudding, and you either eat with ripe plantain, unripe plantain, bobolo, bread, whichever one you choose.
You wanna go extra rice?
Yeah, some people do eat rice. Or you eat with achu. I know of elders would love to have it. Just
Of course, it's very good. I'm one of those that a fan.
I said
When you
elders.
forget about elders.
Almost asked to.
Forget about elders. They real achu. I'm not from Bamenda, but I know I love this meal. You know, when you have the one thing around the world, you have some towel. You know the towel, that part of meat. You have some cow skin. You have the goat, very dried one, right? You have the vegetable, the real that is not the one with tomatoes and all of that. Wait, let me finish now. You know why that no tomatoes in it and all of that. I mean that's country jama. You have one egusi pudding that long, that type that they just tie it
Like the
long.
one that Miss B has.
Thank you very much, Miss B. Place it right there, and then you have the garden egg placed. But I don't take the garden egg. I don't go for that.
All for one stomach.
All for one stone, my dear. Eat that, eh? After eating that, I know. Oh my God, I know of a lady in Yaoundé. I can't forget you, Madam. Somebody around a source. She knows how to do this stuff. And when you go eat at her place, even if it's 2,000 or 1,500 for a plate, you're sure that you have eaten. You can't even get off your seat, your chair.
It's the only Bakosi girl that I know loves a lot of conflict. Because I know that generally those from the Southwest are not really fan of.
No, I'm a
food.
big fan. I'm a big
Comfort
fan.
food, maybe
After that, you can just if you're opportune to have palm wine beside you, you go with palm wine. But in case you do not have palm wine, it's advisable that you go for white wine.
Well, this meal is extremely good because it's very easy to do. It's fast. You can just go to the to the roadside, buy your bobolo.
Yep.
You just come and do the egusi. When you put egusi on the fire, you go buy a bobolo, or you buy the plantain and peel. You put at the side while mixing the egusi at the other corner. It's a meal that you don't really need to eat very much. But you know, with kids, the children prefer to eat egusi.
I'm
and
gonna
not
eat
the
it
plantain.
very
Thank you
much.
so much. Enough food for them.
You know, with the meat and the fish that Miss B has put in there nobody's gonna tell me that you don't eat much, except for those like somebody like you. But for me, I'm going to
No, I'm
eat
watching my
about
weighing. I
3
want to
bundles
be-
of that.
Issa will tell you the sleeves. No, I want to be.
I think, oh my gosh, where's my body?
Want to feel cute.
Yeah, I want to feel
I
really
wanna
cute.
feel
Thank you, Miss B. Okay, thanks for that meal. You see, it's a meal, Miss B. You see that it's a meal that's loved by everybody. Ibane loves it.
Of course.
You love it. I love it as well as our televiewers too love it. Uncle Nico loves egusi pudding in whatever form. He tells you that when you're in the village, a lady brings a basket of egusi pudding. When she's on her way back, we put something in her basket, and then he loves it. He cannot go to a party without eating this. He loves it a lot, and I know so many people out there to love it. You know, generally when you get married, they will tell you your mother-in-law will say, or your mother say, cook egusi pudding. I go and see your father-in-law. When coming back, you will tell me what happened there. You know, they love it so much, but I don't know why they love it very much.
It's a loved meal.
It's a loved
Everybody
meal.
loves
Yeah,
it.
it's a loved meal. For that is very short. Thank you, Miss B, for that meal of today. That was egusi pudding and whichever company, even bread. If you want to eat with bread, it's your choice. We will go to discussion of a topic of today. Why do most women hate children of their husbands gotten out of wedlock? Miss B. Or, you know, I'm talking about marriage too much this week, but when I'm talking about marriage, I always love to direct it towards you. I love directing it towards you because you know exactly what to say. Why do most women?
Most women, okay.
You know, women, when a man, I'm a man, I see a woman that I like, I go up to her and I want to get married to her. But I tell her I have maybe 1 or 2 kids. Generally, women do not always appreciate those children. Why?
It depends, you know, it depends. It depends on the relationship between the man involved and the woman involved. If you all can actually understand yourselves, I don't see anything wrong with it because that child is equally like the child you produce from your womb. Yeah, and it depends again on the stage or age of the child. If some of them are really big, you're getting into marriage, there's a problem. Some of them are really disrespectful, especially if they grow without their mothers cushioning by their side and the grandmom or whatsoever, and you are a wife coming into the family. Some of those children don't actually value their stepmothers too. That's why it depends on the mutual understanding between the both parties. becoming involved.
Or the man and the woman.
Mm-hmm. If you can understand yourselves well and you can actually sit your grown or little children and make them understand this is it, and tell them a mother is not different from the one that gave birth to you and so on. You see that some of these things, I don't blame the women. It's not like it's out of, there are some who are just naturally wicked, you understand, but again, sometimes it could be background, it could be a lack of, understanding, and many things will come into play. So they all will boil back to the two parties involved, yes, and the age of the children. When they are very small, sometimes they know nothing. The woman is forced to, use her powers to manipulate and so on. But if there is that understanding between husband and wife, and these are not your children, the children will equally feel the love, the presence of motherhood. It doesn't matter if it's your mother or it's not your mother. Likewise, even if the Christian had to be reversed, there are some men like that.
Yeah, there are some men like that.
So it still depends on how we involve, handle it. Yeah, but again, just one advice: every child is a blessing. So if you were preparing to get into that marriage, be prepared to embrace that child as well.
Yeah, somebody will tell you that we do not always know the child that is going to bury us.
Good. Embrace the child. Yeah, one can never tell. Embrace the child with the child's uglies, because even your own children are not better. Everybody is the same. So embrace. If you had already accepted, accept what comes with it. If the children don't respect you, or the children already embrace them.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss B. Miss B is advising the ladies out there that no matter how bad the character of the child is, you should be able to accept that child. It's not always easy, but it takes our time, and the way you behave towards that child will make that child to understand.
Yes, will not be angels, you understand?
Yeah, of course.
We just need to, you already accepted the marriage, accept the child. If you don't want it, refuse from the beginning. But every child is the same. No one can tell. So sometimes even the child may not be a step, daughter or whatsoever. It could just be a neighbor's child that will come from somewhere and rescue you. So children are always the same.
So Ibane, why do most women hate cats? They hate totally, and they will ask their husband not to bring those children. They'll say those your children to the house.
When you meet a man who tells you that I already have a child, or one or two children out, and he says I want to get married to you, and you accept, and then you later turn back and say don't bring those your children. So what are we actually expecting when you knew that those children are there? It is at that point, it is your responsibility to accept them. You have to take them in as your own children. Like Miss V said, it is not somebody who actually carries pregnancy for 9 months who can be termed a mother. It is that person who actually nurtures a child to adulthood in love and absolute care that should be termed a mother. And so I don't think that any woman should justify hating a child because my husband had this child out of wedlock. Before I came into the house, I made this child, so I'm supposed to hate the child. I'm going to call such a woman a wicked woman. She's not a kind person, because she knew that such a situation is there. Even if she did not know, children, them, like Miss B said, they are a blessing. And that child did nothing to come into the world. The parents brought that child, so he or she is not supposed to pay for the sins of their parents. And so you hating such a child is like you're making the child pay for what the mother and the father did, which is not correct. It is a woman's responsibility to accept such children. To me, if you want to punish somebody, you should punish your husband. You should not punish your child, because it is not the child's fault.
Why should you punish your husband?
I'm just saying that if you are so much in desperation to punish a man, like in a situation where the man actually, people are already in the marriage, and then he has to. But if you have to meet those children, you have no right whatsoever to punish whosoever.
So in a case
you must accept them.
A man already brings a child when you're already married.
When he brings, or when he comes home and tells you that I have a child out when you're already married, if you are so angry that you want to punish somebody, the punishment should not go to that child. The punishment must go to the parents.
What if it's a child that he had in your marriage? What do you do?
That's exactly why I'm saying that in a case where he brings in a child when you are already married,
exactly.
it is not the child you should punish. You must accept that child because he or she did nothing to come into the world. If you so badly want to punish somebody, punish the parents. But you must ensure that the child is fine wherever the child is. Be a mother to that child. Be the mother that you can be to that child, like you can be to your own child as well. So, but those some cases, there are some cases like Ms. B mentioned there, a case where the girls or the children that the person or your husband has already grown ups, and sometimes it's very difficult to control or really tame, or I mean to say, go along with. You know, some children will be like, I cannot accept my father's wife. Like, my father's wife cannot even give me instructions and all of that. Even in that case, you're not supposed to hate the child. You just suppose what you're going to express to the child should not be hate. You have to try as much as possible to correct them. If you cannot correct them, sometimes it's preferable that since you want your peace, if there's a relative somewhere who can actually make sure that those children are fine and safe, but you have to take care of them financially and ensure that they are fine wherever they are. You are not supposed to give them any form of hate. And in a case too where you have some children too, whom when you have them in your home, and when they probably want to go visit their moms. I know of a certain case like that in a relative's house. The husband had this boy out of wedlock before they got married. She accepted the child, but since the mother is always there, you will not deny a child from seeing the mom. So each time that he leaves the house to go for holidays to the mother's place, whenever he comes back, he becomes something else. He becomes extremely disrespectful. I don't know what the mother does to the child, but each time he comes back from holidays, that guy is never the same. The mother has to try, as there's a mother in the house, has to do everything again to bring back that son that he used to have. So
that's
it becomes,
why the child must live with the mother.
It becomes difficult.
The real mother, she's there, and the father takes care.
The father, in most cases, the fathers will say, I have my wife. My wife has accepted the child.
In the situation where the child goes for holidays, come back with that, get back to your mom. Yeah.
Or sometimes it's been preferable that it's difficult sometimes, but what she does is she tries as much as possible to. Sometimes she even goes ahead to confront the mother and tell the mother that you don't do that. She has done so much. She has done so much to bring this child to order, because what the child, she does not blame the child. The boy is young.
Yeah, she's still jealous. She's
the little boy is young. At that point, you cannot even blame the child. He's just being influenced. So she does not hate the child, but hates the act or the person. Let me say hate, if you want to put the word hate. Hates the person that does what.
But it's preferable not to send the child any longer on holiday. The child stays with his mother.
Exactly. That's one of the solutions.
Sees his mother maybe during the weekend. Just during the weekend, maybe 3 days.
3 days is enough to intoxicate a child.
I don't think that is as much as 3 months. In 3 months, you can frame up something that's very good, that you know what that child can.
A woman who knows how to manipulate can use 1 day to manipulate a child.
Well, but whatever the case, I believe that even if your husband has a child when you're already married,
They don't have a choice.
You have a choice. I say you don't have a choice because it is still your child. If you send that child away, where do you
know, the most intelligent, I know women, like an elderly woman I met sometime said is that in a situation like that, it's preferable to bring the child into your home. Because if you let that child stay out, there is no guarantee that that man will not go running after that woman again, because he takes the pretext of I have my child somewhere, I want to go and see my child, and things start happening there. He has a tendency of the woman out there has the possibility of exploiting money from your husband for the sake of that child, because she's going to be like, my child needs it, my child, you must give because you need to take care of that child. So the best a woman can do at that time is accept the child and bring the child into your home, such that you are the person who is observing that child and making sure that you have everything given to that child that he or she needs exactly, not the woman or the woman outside adding extra bills on whatsoever the child is supposed to spend.
I think that's a better solution. Don't you think too?
It's a solution that goes in line with this text message. Greetings, I'm Kanzi from Palace Garden. To some women,
Palace Garden?
Palace Garden. Some women hate such children just out of jealousy. We just do out of jealousy. The child outside, just because the child outside is well taken care of than the one in the house. Children are special gifts from God, so please, ladies, stop being cruel and greedy.
Thank you very much, Candy. That's a beautiful text message. I hope that some women out there will be able to assimilate that message and take it upon themselves that no whatever the case. You know, some men are so unfaithful in such a way that there's no way that you can change them. You can even stop them from going outside. So in that case, when you bring a child, you're forced to accept the child. So that makes you to think about a story where a man is married to his wife. He has another wife outside, but his wife doesn't know. He told his wife that he's going for a meeting, whereas the wife he had outside was dead. So when he reached the village, she was born in the house for her. Never had to invite her that please come and let's go to one burial. So when she reached there, she saw that the widower there was her husband. The one that was sitting next to the corpse.
He's her husband.
Yeah, it was her husband, so she had to collapse. Please, men, do not have to put us in such situations because it becomes really complicated. If you were the one in that case, what do you do? What do you do in that case?
I'll wait for him.
Because she don't know what.
I'll go and find him because I don't want
You said the
him.
widow and now you're going to
I'll find him to come back tonight because I have some questions to answer. So he does not have to die. I'll wait for him in the house. Then I'll make as if I don't know him. I'll wait for you in the house.
So the one that was sitting next to the corpse was the lady. The lady was confused. That her husband, she never knew. She wanted to go and see really if it's her husband that stayed there because when her friend said that's her husband, she thought it was a lie. When she saw her collapse because there was no way. What do you have to explain? So we go to our last slot because time is really running out of us. So we have to take the next slot of today, which is the health page. This afternoon, dear televiewers, I decided to come back to dandruff. Dandruff that affects the hair, be it for women or for men. So what you need to know is dandruff is the white particles that we have on our head. We have on our head when we comb it. Some people have to itch your head. You know, one of these days, Miss B had to do itchy hair. She did something on itchy hair, and you will notice that most itchy hair is not only due to dandruff, but other things that are inside the hair. But this afternoon we'll do dandruff. That's exactly what we are talking about. Dandruff, we have so much of it inside our hair. Most people have it in such a way that if you just look at the inside of their hair, you see the way the thing is there is packed up in particular spots. So what you need to do when you have this situation is you mix egg yellow and lemon, and then you put it in your hair. The first image is coconut oil. Sorry, the first image we have there is coconut oil. If you take coconut oil, you apply in the hair. Miss B talked about keeping your hair oily. This is one of the things you can use to oil your hair with it. The next thing is egg yellow and lemon. You take the egg yellow, the lemon, you mix together. You put in the hair, you apply in the hair for some few hours, and then you wash it. Then you will, of course, see the difference. Or you mix pear and banana. You mix the two together, and you apply inside the hair. You ensure that you match inside all over the hair, and then you wash it. Some people will rather choose to mix pear and egg, or you take aloe vera gel. You equally apply inside the hair. That is you extract just the gel, you mix together. You apply inside your hair. You can equally use chopped onion. You chop the onion, and you put inside the hair. You can use pure honey, just honey, and inside the hair you can equally use garlic. You mash garlic, and you put. But one thing I want to say is after something that I have tried is you take wood ash. Everybody knows of wood ash, right? You take wood ash, you put in a pan. You put something that will get the water, maybe a cloth that has holes, so that you put the wood ash on top of the cloth. Put something that would
collect the water down.
That's exactly, you do it this way, and then you pour water on top,
On the wood ash.
on the wood ash, and then the water that's extracted from the wood ash, you use it to wash your hair. When washing your hair is in foam, you bring out foam. That is exactly the dandruff that's coming out. You don't put soap. The wood ash, you bring foam in it. You extract, you wash it clean. You wash it, you scrub the hair with it, and then you wash it. Before you know, your hair will be very clean. You will, of course, see the difference, because some people might not have the egg yellow and all the stuff to use for their hair. You just go to the kitchen, the 3-stone fireside, you take the wash, or you use kanwa, what do you call limestone? When I say limestone, these are things, no, that thing is kanwa. You use kanwa, you drain, and then you do it the same way. You just extract the juice from it, then you wash your hair with it properly. You will, of course, see that in no time your hair will be clean. You wouldn't suffer from any dandruff. So that's what we had for our health page this afternoon. And please ensure that you oil your hair, as Miss B will always say.
Of course, this one will leave it dry and we don't wash frequently. That's when we develop. When you wash frequently, it's part of your body. Don't just start from here and go down, you understand? Wash frequently and not put oil there all the time. And for women, change your hair to after 2 months.
Miss B talked about 1 month yesterday, and I was like, you don't have. On Friday, she said you shouldn't keep your hair for more than 1 month.
That's it.
So, even anything to add?
Oh, of course, we are in the rainy season, Binda, and the drizzles or the drops of rain getting into hair that has braids is one of those causes, one of those things that bring about dandruff. So, like Miss B said there, we have to ensure that, especially during this rainy season, since we cannot control the rain and you cannot just keep yourself in one place, and probably you do not have the means, or even if you have the means, and sometimes that you cover an umbrella, yet your hair gets wet. In any case, just ensure that during this rainy season you change your hair as often as possible. It's very, very important, because if you go out, step out there, you go under the rain. Sometimes some people have the hair dryer that you just use in drying your hair. That no use. Yet some people who do not have. And even if you use it, how long are you going to use that to ensure that your hair is not suffering from dandruff? So in case your hair gets wet, even if it doesn't get wet during the rainy season, ensure that you change your hair to as frequent as possible, and ensure that each time you want to do your growth there, wash it, please.
Please don't be like my friend that do her hair for 3 months and tell me that if I oil it, you become shiny.
Oh, you can still do the hair change the hair frequently, and it still affects you, probably because you don't wash it.
You don't wash it.
Each time you undo your hair, make sure you wash the hair before you do another one.
Okay, thank you for your contribution, Ibane and Miss B, and thanks to our televiewers. We have come to the end of In the Heart of the City of today, but sure we have subsequent program, because before we get out of the studio, Miss B.
Of course, it's Tuesday, so we're getting ready for Onjikwa.
Okay.
And after that, the Believer newscast 7:30 and the rebroadcast of the program In the Heart of the City.
Oh, Miss B, you forgot something. Then the Lions are playing today.
The Lions are, oh my God, fingers are crossed, of course. I have faith in you all. Of course, a big shout out to, my brother there from the futsal man, from Clinton. He was actually my small day back in school, and he got love for football.
What's your pronostic for the match of today?
Of course, Cameroon 2.
Okay.
Guinea 0.
Benin.
Benin, sorry, 0. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ibane, for having been part of this
Thank
program.
you very much, Binda, for having me, and thanks to our televiewers.
Are you passionate of sports?
I am not. Though I watch sometimes because I do not have a choice. You
Okay.
understand their televisions.
Do you want to give us a pronostic of today?
Of course, once the Lions play, even if I'm in the kitchen, I'll be like, somebody scored. I only look for when somebody's going to say, they have scored. I'll be like, who did that? How did it happen? I watch the replay,
Okay.
and then I continue doing my stuff. So I'm thinking that the Lions are going to win. Benin is not a very strong team, guys. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay. Okay. Football is played on the field.
Come on, it is not a strong team. I don't love football that much, but I can.
Benin, if they weren't strong, they wouldn't have been part of this
Exactly.
competition.
It is not a
And
very
so,
strong team
no
compared
matter
to
how
the
strong
Lions.
they are, I just
After all, the Lions are the champions.
I'm talking
of
about
Africa.
compared to the indomitable Lions. Benin is
Yeah,
just
but
a
their
small
moments are
boy.
like indomitable.
No, you really don't.
Anyways, let's forget
the
about
way
that.
they
I'm
say it,
equally
you know.
going for 2-0.
Okay, thank you very much, ladies. Thanks to all our televiewers. It has been a pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I want to use this pleasure to wish a wonderful afternoon to Mami Kanda, who had 3 baby boys. She had 3 baby boys some few days back, and we're very happy for her. I'm very, very happy for her because it's not easy. But she has about 6 years to stay in the house to be able to bring up those boys. I want to wish pleasure of courage to the Indomitable Lions. Stay tuned to program on NGTV.
What is